Today's topic is a very sensitive one. We want to talk about single parenting.
If you're coming into a single parent's life and you know you are not coming to be better, please don't do it. Let them be. You can't go into some other relationship to damage the other person.
You meet a guy that genuinely likes you, but you have shut your heart so much that you can't even let anyone in. Then there are people who don't genuinely like you, but they just want you for the You get broken again. You find yourself juggling different jobs because you're trying to provide for your kids, especially if your ex-partner is not in the picture or there's no child support and stuff.
I've heard a lot of guys say, even without knowing that I'm a single parent, people have conversations. They say, I can never marry a single mom.
Oh, that hurts.
No, it doesn't. Trust me. It never felt bad. You know why? That's their choice.
Welcome to Life, Laughter, and Everything. We want to thank you for joining us in our last episode. And today we are here again with another exciting topic to, share with us. As we all do, I'm going to introduce the co-hosts. And, of course, I want to talk about this wonderful lady. She's elegant, looking so beautiful today. And, always beautiful, always beautiful. She's got the intelligence, she's got, the C's, and she's always there to make the life of the party anytime, anywhere, any day. Ladies and gentlemen, jam your hands together as I welcome Zandy.
Thank you, Cosmos. And welcome, viewers. Thank you for joining us last week, our last episode. So sit back and relax as we start up today's one.
All right. Okay. Yeah, this lady is intelligent. She's very calm and demure whenever she speaks. And she has that thing, she has this very charming smile. If you see her smile, you don't have any other choice but to laugh and smile with her. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Lilian.
Thank you again, Cosmos. Welcome everyone to today's episode. We hope we enjoy it.
Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into it. Let's not waste much time. Today's topic is a very sensitive one, and we want to talk about single parenting. Single parenting. Research has it that a lot of single parents, struggle to take care of their child. And that is why it is important that we talk about those issues that come up from, single parenting, issues that affect the parent himself or herself, or the child. So we're going to unpack this in different perspectives, okay? So from the perspective of the single parent and from the perspective of the child. So ladies and gentlemen, so let's sit tight. And of course, if you have something to say or you're out there, you're a single parent and you have a personal experience to share with us on this topic, please feel free to type it in the comment section. And definitely we will look at it and then we all can learn from it and learn from your experience. Very important. So let's unpack this. Let's make it, make sense to us and let's see what we can get out from it. From the perspective of the parent, what is the effect? Can we talk about the negative effect? Because if we even go online, research has always emphasized on the negative effect it has on the single parent. Lilian, can you help us unpack this, please?
Okay, this is a very sensitive topic, and because it's grassroots and it affects almost everyone, and people don't expect this, but there are so many stigmas and traumas that come with single parents or single parenting. First, there's societal stereotypes and judgment. People single you out, look at you some kind of way. So many other women think, oh, we're better than you. You couldn't even keep a marriage. People look at you like, oh, she has a kid, especially if you're a single parent from an unwanted pregnancy. People judge you. religiously, people look at you some kind of way in church. People can allow you to be some kind of places in church. You can be a warden or someone who would be like the face of the church because, oh, she doesn't have a husband. Let's not forget to talk about the financial constraints.
Right.
You find yourself juggling different jobs because you're trying to provide for your kids, especially if your ex-partner is not in the picture or there's no like child support and stuff. It emotionally drags you down. Sometimes you even find yourself taking out this frustration on your kids. And single parents are stigmatized everywhere, including their workplaces. Even some employers are so biased with, oh, she's a single parent. Like, people rub it on your face. Emotionally, you're drained. You're physically always drained because you need all the help that you can get. You're financially always drained. You don't have people who want to help you. You don't have genuine people who even have your best interest at heart. You're completely almost always reminded that, oh, you did that. And for the side of the fathers, people call them deadbeat all the time because most times single parenting is mostly the ladies because we get like the custody of the children. But if we look at it the other way around, there are still parents who it's the father that has the custody of the kids.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, sometimes it gets so much for men. They are not built for that world. You're not feminine, you're masculine. But you have to make yourself to become feminine.
Absolutely, especially when we're dealing with a girl child, right?
Yeah, you have to
Exactly.
control.
So you are,
Right.
oh my God, I can't even begin to imagine the amount of emotional trauma that will be going through this person's head. You're going through your child's first period, something that you've never experienced yourself, something that you do not understand. You're looking at your kids' puberty. You have to go to the market and buy bras. The way people would look at you, like, it's just so much. The traumas and the stigmas that single parents face is not something that we can talk about in one episode. This should have episode 1, 2, 3, and 10. We should split it, to be honest.
Yeah,
But,
of course. I'm sure the audience, based on the comments they're going to put up there, will see what aspects we can, emphasize on. So feel free, like we said, if you have any personal experience, if you're a single parent and you can relate to some of the things that we're saying, please feel free. To take it up a bit further, you've talked about more of the trauma, the disadvantage. But then some people say, it's still a blessing.
Yeah, true.
Somehow. So, Zandy, can you, unpack? Is there a blessing to it? Can you unpack it?
Oh my goodness. This is actually, like you mentioned, a very sensitive one because I'm a single parent myself.
Okay.
And I know this can come as a shock to a lot of people because maybe I don't go around crying all the time. And
You don't look like what you're going
exactly. So it's more like when people see you, you say, I'm a single parent. And like, oh, wow. How?
When?
Yeah, when did it happen? But I'm going to really say I give it up for a lot of single parents out there who is killing it, who is doing a good job, especially the male ones, because it's not easy to assume both roles, being a dad and a mom at the same time, right? And when you're talking about the gains, the society has really made it very hard for you to look at the gains.
Yeah.
Come on, you're a single parent, you didn't kill nobody.
Yeah.
You just, it's more like, for me, the gains, I look at it as moving out from what didn't work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If you were in a toxic relationship or the marriage just didn't work and you decide on yourself that this is not working for me, not just for you, for the children as well.
And your partner as well.
And funny enough, people don't understand there's some marriages that break and the partners or the couple or whatever it is, they still remain friends
100%.
because they know they are not compatible enough to take care of these kids
I agree.
or to raise these kids. So it's more like you moved away from something that is not working or something that was going to break you or something that was going to be dangerous for you.
You avoided the stray bullets. So no.
And trust me, I've seen a lot of single parents who ended up with a different partner that was even better than who they were previously with.
100%.
That's
Right?
Yeah.
And if you're looking at the gains for the kids as well, of course, there's a lot of gains you can find from that. There are a lot of kids who grew up to become quite very independent. You know, they're getting extra love.
Yes.
They're getting extra attention. And as the single parent, you assume extra responsibility. You're telling yourself, you sleep every day, you wake up, tell yourself, I'm not going to fail. I have to do this.
Yes.
You grow up. I grew up. I grew up.
It's too much pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that you quickly delved into the aspect of the kids. So I think we should also, take it up from there. You've mentioned part of the gains. Yeah, I'll still, come back to that. But before we dwell on the gains, let's look at what are these disadvantage? What negative effects does it have on the child? Can you, help us unpack
Exactly.
that
For the
as well?
kids, when you look at it, there's a lot of disadvantages we can look at. We're looking at the emotional aspect of it. We're looking at the abandonment issues. You're looking at a child, if it was a child that used to be bright and all over the place, you see the withdrawal syndrome.
Oh, yes.
You see them wanting to hold on, and some of the girls, they grow up to have daddy issues. Not specifically in all cases, but in most cases.
Yeah. And they have trust issues.
Yeah,
as well.
especially if the parent in care didn't assume that role to raise this child in a proper way. So, there are disadvantages where you see children, they don't perform well in school.
In school, okay.
Yes, because imagine talking about parents or talking about family in school. They don't have enough to say because it's more like they only have just one, or maybe they have a very bad experience or maybe they saw what happened with the parents. So it kind of affects them, and they grow. Some children even have trauma. A lot of kids now move around with that trauma from the parents or the breakup or whatever it is, the divorce or whatever it is. So there's a lot of disadvantages, but not to say there are no advantages. But because trust me, I will always say everyone needs both parents, because that's what I thought about before going into marriage, right? So I will always want my children to grow up to have both parents, because two is better than one. So if you're a single parent and you can't assume exactly both roles at the same time, trust me, it's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work.
Okay.
The disadvantages are there. Trust me, they are there.
Okay, I think we'll still come back to that. So we don't, it's a very sensitive topic. I'm getting emotional already. I can imagine, the stress, the emotional stress, having even both on the side of the parent or the child, having, to go through all that, and the societal stigma, attached to this. Okay, let's talk about the gains, on the aspect of the child. What is there for the child to, record as, okay, this is a gain, from being from a single parent, whether a man or a woman. Lilian, can you?
In as much as, like Sandra said, it would be better to have both parents, both biological parents. But in cases where that cannot happen, the kids have opportunities to have better parents.
That's right.
The kids can have another mom
and another
daddy.
Do they have a say?
Of course.
Of course. Well, it depends on the kind of relationship that you have with your kids, and it also depends on the age of your kids. Some people do not understand that mommy is having another daddy. Now I'm gonna have another daddy. Some of them, you have that conversation with them, but they don't really accept that daddy. Some of them get to start loving that daddy
Even better.
in future, but it's going to be hard. Like, you just don't bring a daddy to me and say, Lilian, now this is your new daddy, because that's not who I know, and I know a different love. But there are opportunities to be better. The new daddy might be richer. The new daddy might be more caring. The new daddy might be more soothing, too intentional, more present. And then the kid as well has an opportunity to have a lot of celebrations. When it's birthday, there's auntie from mommy's side, there's auntie from daddy's side, and there's one auntie from the new daddy's side.
Yeah,
you know, people get obsessed with you. You're just going everywhere. There's always time for holiday, but it also depends on the parents and it depends on the kids. But I feel like there are certain stability that these children now have, having a father figure.
That's right.
Father figure is very underrated. As a woman, you can never be a man.
No way.
No matter how much you try. You could work as hard as you want to. You could provide everything daddy can provide, but you're not daddy.
That's right.
So when there is this new parent, or when mommy is not now in that violent situation, there's a little stability. There's time for the kid to relax.
Yeah.
If it's a kid that is so traumatized from the chaos in the house, there is now peace.
That's right.
The kid can go to school and not be distracted. The kid can focus more on things. The kid can even try to understand what's going on with the parents or what just happened. Some kids try to understand that their mother or their father is now free.
Yeah.
They're happier because they've experienced that violence or emotional trauma or pain or whatever. So I think that in as much as we talk about the disadvantages, we've all met people who are from single parent families, and I can say for free that my friends turned out perfectly.
That's right.
I mean, they don't have the daddy issues. They don't hate men. They're not feminists. They're not men are scum, kind of. But I also think it's because mom inculcated this. Like, I had this issue with dad, but it was me that had this issue with dad, not you.
That's right.
In as much as you're free because dad probably doesn't like you guys, or dad probably doesn't like me, but you don't have to hate him. So it's just the opportunity for you guys to be free, think better, and enjoy better life. I think it's part of the game.
Yeah, I think that would really make a lot of sense.
That's right.
You know, that's lots of gain if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's a lot, and I would say that lightened my mood.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that's really good. But you know, while you were speaking, you know, a lot came into my mind, and one of the prominent things that came into my mind is, for a single parent, when we look at, you know, in terms of gender, you know, is it easier for a single mom to manage a child, regardless of the gender? Is it easier on the part of the single mom, or is it a lot easier on the part of the single dad? You know, a lot of people have, you know, it's, you know, women are natural caregivers.
Yes.
You know, they know how to organize, they know how to take care of children and all that. They know how to love their kids better. There's always that relationship between the mother and her child. You know, it's always there. Can it be said that single moms do better at taking care of their child compared to single dad?
I don't believe so. Like you said, mothers do amazing jobs. But boy children still needs their dad. we've seen a lot of guys who behave like women now. They cry a lot. They put makeups on. They wear women clothes. They are only around. They've been around women all their life.
Yeah.
The life that they know is feminine. They can't be masculine. They can't be boys.
Wow.
And it goes both ways. The reason why I said I did not agree is that you can't assume a role that is not yours. You can only try. We've also seen mothers who have done amazing jobs, and these kids turned out so wonderful. But at what cost? What did mom have to sacrifice?
That's right.
What pressure did she go through? How many nights could she not sleep? And if she had an opportunity for that co-parenting, would she have taken it? If there was a father figure, would he have helped? So I don't think there's one person that does the best or the most job, because I've also seen men who have raised girl children. They end up they don't even care about like what it means to go to the market and buy bras and buy underwears. They buy like your personal care stuff, and they have to get into routine of these children, watching even watching your teenage kid having a boyfriend, having to have that safe conversation that is very uncomfortable for women. Imagine when a guy is doing that. So I feel like, given an opportunity, I just feel like they don't have a choice. But if you have like a brother, if you have like, if your husband, your ex-husband, your ex-boyfriend would agree to assume the role of still being a father, regardless of how estranged the relationship is, I feel it will be better for the kids.
All right, nice. Talking about roles, I'll come to you, Zandy. Talking about roles and picking it up from there. Moving on. How, as you have the experience, you are a single parent, and I know I do expect you to share personal issues, but how has it been? How does it feel like moving on? Now, when I say moving on to get another partner, what are the challenges that single parents face, to get another partner? What can you, help us?
Question. Did you have to ask this question?
I like the question. You know why? Because I've heard a lot of guys say, even without knowing that I'm a single parent, people have conversations. They say, I can never marry a single mom.
Oh, that hurts.
No, it doesn't. Trust me, it never felt bad. You know why? That's their choice.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned something about how is easier if it's easier for the men or if it's easier for the women.
One of the reasons, just to not to interject a little bit on that, one of the reasons why a lot of guys out there don't want to maybe get married to a single mom, one of the popular reasons I've heard is that the single mom tend to give more attention to the child than to the guy.
Oh, well, see, the thing is, I will disagree with that, right? Because it is this, the thing, like, I don't want to fail because everyone is waiting for you to fail. Because if these children don't turn out great,
it's your fault.
You.
Yes.
You didn't do a good job. That's why your marriage broke in the first place.
Absolutely.
Now, the part where you have the single mothers doing the job, trust me, I won't say it's easy on the men. I always give thumbs up to guys who are raising their kids on their own.
Yeah.
Because it's not even an easy job.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys who are doing that. And anytime I see them, I give them thumbs up because I know what it feels like. But for that, they get more help than the women.
Because everyone feels sorry for them.
Of course, there are girls who want to, because they want to be in your life, they just
assume the role.
Yeah, of course. They want to be all over the place, help your kids, do all of that just to gain your attention.
Yeah.
But which man wants to raise another man's kids? Very few. So you're either left with raising your kids with your family.
Yeah.
In most cases, or doing it just by yourself.
Absolutely.
Trust me. And when you have an amazing family, you are blessed.
Yes.
I have one. Trust me, they are like they're my backbone. If you have an amazing family who would help you, you need help. And sometimes you don't ask for those help because you also want to, convince yourself that you did not fail.
Yeah.
That you can actually do this.
Is there any form of inferiority complex that comes into play, particularly on the part of, let's say, the woman? Because it's easier. I'm a man, so I can say to some extent, arguably, that it's easier for men to kind of move on.
Yes.
You can easily get a wife and all that. And of course, once the woman loves you and loves your kid, that's it.
That's the best.
But in the part of the woman, they go through a lot of, one of the prominent stuff is inferiority complex. They feel, am I good enough for the next person that's coming? How do we navigate that? Especially how do women navigate that?
Part of the things that Sandra mentioned is having people that help you. Part of the stigmas of being a single parent is having to do it by yourself.
Yes.
And having to do it by yourself is consistently asking yourself, first, am I the reason why this marriage broke? Because people always blame women when a marriage doesn't work. There's something you're doing wrong. Why did you have to complain? Why did you have to go? Why can't you endure? You're not like our mothers. Our mothers endured. And then you find yourself, if you don't have a supportive family, you find yourself consistently tiptoeing so that people don't say, this is not your husband's house, go back to where you're coming from. You're consistently asking yourself, how can I do better? You meet a guy that genuinely likes you, but you have shut your heart so much that you can't even let anyone in. Then there are people who don't genuinely like you, but they just want you for the and then you get broken again.
Don't you think, and in some cases, research has shown that most single mothers, particularly mothers, they go through trauma. And part of this, during this trauma, they tend to reject, it comes with, some kind of fluctuations in their character, on the way they do things. Coupled with, even at that point in time, some even lose their emotional intelligence. They are not able to make,
who will go through what they have gone through?
So how do we help them? Like what are the steps? What steps should they take towards ensuring that they're in a good state of mental health to make an informed decision of the next partner to be with? Yeah, you can pick it up.
When it comes to mental health, you can't control when your brain goes poof. Sometimes it's about the people around you. Now we're thinking about the way forward. What kind of support are you giving this person that is going through this? What kind of words are you saying to this person? How are you making this person feel? They will act out. Of course, we act out when we're stressed out. You don't want to see me when I'm angry or when I'm hungry. When I'm hungry, I act out. So imagine having to go through childbirth alone. Poof. Imagine having to constantly sit down and think about how to get the school fees of your kids and to provide the food that they eat. You won't be normal. I have anxiety every time that I have to think about, it's time to pay rent. Now imagine someone who has to take all these responsibilities by themselves. So do we support these people enough? Do we help when we can? Or do we constantly tell them that they're not enough? Because what you say is absorbed, especially when someone is in pain. And then they keep telling themselves that, it's my fault. oh, it's my fault. I can't do it. I don't do better. You can't act right if you don't even think that you're right.
Yeah, but what if, a lot of people, there's this saying that this single, yeah, it's part of the stigma, though you're a single parent or a single mother, or what did you do? Why it's
Why did they marry?
Why they married? Why did it not work? Of course, they tag it naturally to the woman, but in some cases, the women
And the problem.
are the problem.
True.
100%.
In some cases, I don't want to say most
Most
cases.
cases, yeah.
You're
I'm
right.
sure there are examples. There are situations where
I agree.
the woman is actually the problem, and that's why. So, for such person, what moving on? I'm coming to you, Zandy. What are the quick things that this person needs to fix? Because to move on. I think one of the things is that for me is this person has to first of all realize that, oh, I have these issues.
Yes.
I have 1, 2, 3 issues. I need to fix them. Now, in fixing these issues, what step do you think this person should take?
I would say first you have to look in the mirror. You're looking at yourself. You know the errors, you know the faults, you know the mistakes. Give yourself time. People just end something and jump into something right immediately.
Trying to prove a point.
That's the biggest mistake. Give yourself time. Heal. You need to heal. Whatever healing means to you. And you need the right people around you. You need the right friends. You need the right colleagues. You just need the right people around you. And jumping into another relationship or another marriage right almost immediately is not just going to help. And you need time to heal. Work on yourself. Build yourself. Do a lot of things. If it takes you moving away from where you used to be to somewhere else, it could be the location, it could be the job. I had to quit my job. I had to leave the particular location to somewhere else. Just keep doing it. It doesn't come immediately. It's not instant. I can tell you I'm still in the process. We heal every day. You meet people every day. And sometimes you see those signs from the previous relationship. It triggers you. The traumas come back. And that makes you act out. Not because the other person is the problem. But sometimes you bring this baggage and this trauma and you lash it out on the next person. That's why you need to heal. I don't know how long. Healing takes different period for people. It could be 2 years, it could be 4 years, some it could be 10 years. Give yourself that time. But you just have to heal. Because you can't go into some other relationship to damage the other person. And again, if you're coming into a single parent's life and you know you are not coming to be better, please don't do it.
Yeah.
Let them be. Both the male and the female, let them be.
Absolutely.
Also, talking about when it's my gender's fault and how does she move forward. Like Sandra said, you have to look in the mirror. But when you're looking in the mirror, what truths are you saying to yourself?
Yeah.
Some people don't say the truth to themselves. Some people can never accept that they were the problem. You see them going around blaming whoever. You see them never trying to make themselves better. Before a relationship or a marriage breaks, there have been signs, conversations, patterns.
That's right.
Now, when it's no more, what are you saying to yourself? Are you thinking about all those things this person said? Of course, you have to take the ones that apply. Sensible. Do you try to work on it? Do you not nag? Can you learn to sit down, have a conversation? Can you learn to open up better? Can you learn to assist if that was the problem? Can you learn skills if that was the problem? Now you're not doing it for the previous person that
you're doing it to make yourself better.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to come out as a superwoman, not to prove anything to the world, but to make yourself extraordinary?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you see yourself doing so many things, to be honest, it's like going to the gym. When you're consistent with going to the gym and you start seeing those abs here and there, and those squats here and there. Oh my God. You're giving yourself a pattern. You have to keep going. Now I'm going to go and do those squats.
And it's even better when someone realizes and say, oh, you're losing weight.
Oh.
That means I've done so well that someone is seeing it. That's like seeing a single parent and say, oh my God, you're doing a great job. That is a price.
Yes.
Is a price. You don't know how that feels. You see the person and you're like, oh my God, your kids look good. You're doing a great job. They might act like it's not a big deal, but they go back home and they look in the mirror and tell themselves, well done, girl.
Yes.
Well done, you've done well.
Really a lot to talk about. And I love the last note you gave there, and I want to say this to our head. When you see a single mother or a single father, there, particularly those ones that are doing really well, that are keeping up regardless of being a single parent, taking care of their children or their child single-handedly, please encourage them. Say those things, say those words of affirmation. You're doing really well. Keep going. You're not alone. And of course, offer support where support is needed to, these persons. And most importantly, can we quit the stigmatization?
Please.
Can we quit it? Single parents, they are just like every other singles person you can think of.
Yeah.
All right? Okay, the fact that their previous relationship didn't work out does not mean that they are not fit to go into another relationship. Of course, barring the fact that they have to heal, look inward, work on themselves, become a better version of themselves. Of course, they have the right and they are also entitled to moving on into other relationship and enjoying, the benefits of having both partners, go through the journey of marriage and also having both parents in the life of their children. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. Let's take note of that. And if you are a single parent and you're out there, please, you're doing well. We love you.
Yes.
We heart you. We've come to the end of today's episode. Join us next time on Life,
Laughter,
and everything.
Please don't forget to follow us on our socials as displayed on the screen. See you next time. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.